So this,
what I would do in the short term is just make sure you're practicing at 48 at 100 yards. Because it will still have a lot of spin on it, and it will just stop. Because that's the only thing I'm seeing with your gaps is you running into scenarios where you're maxing out that 56 all the time because it's too big of a gap. And I would prefer to see you just be really good with taking some off the 48.
Right.
This is your 56.
58.
This is your 58. Can you hit the next one a bit lower, and then one
Slide
after
it a little
that
bit more?
higher? Yeah.
Thinking about it, I didn't feel it.
Put your normal one again.
Probably a lower one for me. I tugged it a little bit.
Yeah. Hit this one even a little lower and spinnier than that.
I didn't get there though.
And then this one, the opposite. Give it a little more tight, a little less give it.
So I messed with something where I really kind of open up my stance a lot and accelerate through. I just kind of figured this out one day, and I was just,
You start to max out the yardage for that technique here. Like that could be really good from like 10 to like 25 to get like a long lofted pitch.
Yes.
Or you might, when you get to 40 yards, like use the same technique with your 56.
Okay. My issue was I was having trouble accelerating through the ball on off yardages. Like I would do really well with it, like that 95-yard shot with this, because I could just send it full. So I was trying to find a way to have a full club head speed without full distance.
Okay, right. Well, loft will be your friend on that.
I've never done it with this club before. That type of swing. Do you want me to try it again, or do you want me to hit something else?
Try it again.
Okay.
Because you will run into times where you need this. Usually it would be out of the rough. Yeah, that's nice. Most of what you're going to get with that technique is launch angle, and that's what you need to stop it when you can't get spin. Right. Off this lie, you can spin it, so you don't have to launch it that high and use this technique. Yeah, but like you got short-sided out of the rough and you're able to hit that shot, super handy. Let's go back to the 58.
Okay.
This, I actually use a 58T as well. This is my 54M, but.
Okay, what do you want?
Let me see your stock one again. So I'm seeing when you get in rhythm and you have your comfort shots, like you're deadly. You're like a pro. But of course, I say the nice thing first. The other side of the coin is you use a lot of hands in your technique, and that's why like the first time we went to hit a lower one, the strike was not good. Right. When you're in your comfort zone, especially when you're in rhythm, you know, hitting it a dozen times in a row, you're really good. So what I want to do is the high one comes easy to you, but you see that low one you're just hitting and it doesn't fly all the way?
It does, yeah.
So what I want you to do when you're hitting the low one, go ahead and set up, is I want you to finish. We're going to need to rotate your chest a little bit more.
Okay.
And keep the cup in your right wrist and keep it flat in your left wrist. Okay. So the structure you have here in impact, just keep it going with rotation. And that's going to fly lower with good contact.
Kind of like that idea of frying an egg on the face. Kind of.
We're not trying to keep the face open. The face is going to just follow the plane.
Here.
Yeah, and the face is even still going to go there.
Okay, we're still turning.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's more like a miniature full swing than like a lofted pitch. The high ones, they fit your pattern really well.
Came off nice. I didn't give it
Close.
enough,
That was close.
but I like the clip. It felt really good.
Oh, that had a good swing. Really good. Let me put this on you. Right wrist. So that connection there with the back of the wrist, maintain that to your finish. So hold your finish for us so we can inspect it. Oh yeah, you feel that? So hold your finish on this. Let's see if you maintain the connection.
Not used to having something on my wrist.
What I want you to feel is like the grip is going to travel further and the club head is going to travel shorter. So instead of the club just like getting up real quick and the grip stopping and going this way, it's almost like if I wasn't going to let the club head move, you would have to move that grip back further.
Okay.
See how the hands and the grip, the club head and the hands will move more equally? And then same thing on the way through, keep the grip traveling. Sorry, keep the grip traveling so that the speed of the grip and the speed of the club head match. Does that make sense? Instead of having a slow grip and a fast club head, keep the grip traveling.
Swing the handle
even.
more than.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. That's way better. Properly strapped there. Come to like your backswing, like where you would stop. So where you actually go.
Yeah.
And then we go here.
Okay.
You still have this connection. You still have a little shaft range to get good contact, but where you go is accessible.
Okay.
That will shallow out your attack without having to flip it. Yeah, there you go. Like Steve Stricker, right?
Yeah.
Better.
Got a little, yeah, I just gunned it.
So, like what I'll love to do is I'll come to the top of my backswing and go like this. Go, all right, let me get the club head back out in front of me a little more. Feel like, how far can I take my hands back without the club head getting higher than my hands?
Not too different from what you were telling me the other day.
You talking about with the clock?
Well, no. With my hand here.
Oh, with the driver?
Yeah.
That was more that the club head was getting behind you. You were rotating the
Yeah,
right
there's a little bit
arm
more of
open.
square in the face for extended duration.
Yeah. So I'm trying to keep the club head lower to the ground than my hands as long as I can, versus picking it up real early.
Yeah.
There's still going to be some hinge, right? But most of that is built into your setup with the hands being ahead, so you don't need to then hinge it more.
Okay.
You just keep the grip moving back.
I got you.
And there's plenty of lean there, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll see the body will speed up a little bit and the hands will be quieter.
Gotcha.
That's 54, so it's a little firm for that.
Yeah.
So how long can you go keeping the club, your hands higher off the ground than the club head? Keep going. But it'll still open, right? But that's great. Usually from here, you are already at a
Up
full
here,
90-degree angle between left forearm and shaft.
Okay.
Exaggerate it more. There you go. There you go, good.
Come right over the top of it. Tuck it. Let me go pick it real quick.
Here, I got another sleeve.
Oh.
Your time's too valuable to go pick them up. We'll have somebody else do that.
I don't mind. Thank you.
All right. We got 8 more minutes. Oh, I got a text from my clock. It's a little better.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you really exaggerate one for me. It's actually like in the backswing, I want you to preserve as much loft on the club head as you can.
Okay.
So when you're hinging it up, right, you're kind of de-lofting it. I want you to feel like you're keeping as much loft on the face as you can, right?
Okay.
And then keep the grip and the chest going on the way through.
Okay. I think I got you.
That's a much better miss. Like that was a little thin.
It was a little bit of a miss.
It was a little thin, but like it still had really good spin on it and everything.
Oh, a little thin there too.
And that's so I want the chest to rotate, but not really applying power with your lower body.
I think I've got it.
So
I feel like this heel kind of stays planted.
Yeah.
I think that one had a lot of promise.
It did. I'm starting to feel the. Often when you tell me something that I know what you're trying to say, it just takes a second for my body to
Sure.
get the gears like locked into place because I'll change one thing and the other thing's like, well, normally I do this, and it just takes me a minute for them all to get synced up.
I can't tell you how many times stuff Roy would teach me would click like a year later. Like, oh, that's what he meant.
he wanted to say.
Yeah, he said it to me so many times in so many different ways, and now I finally understand it.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think my weight, I think my back heel is.
Yeah, when I was telling you to go ahead and rotate your chest and keep the grip moving, you got your full swing, lower body power driving. I want you to pivot and rotate, but feel flat-footed.
Right.
So that you don't move that low point forward, steepen the attack angle too much, get too much power.
Really strong.
But really nice. So the shot that you would like try and hit, you notice how you're pulling. your golf ball like draws like just a touch.
So
I don't know if you could tell, but like even for a pitch, you're only drawing it like 2 feet, maybe. But it has just a little bit of draw spin. I almost want you to hit like a no divot higher. Well, I don't want to say higher because you're going to put the hands in it. A no divot lower fade. So the club head's going to stay more this side of your hands versus getting up here. And then you'll have to keep the grip moving to keep the launch down.
Okay.
But not take a divot. And the path being more left will help you rotate too. So we're going for a no divot, low spinny shot. See how it's cutting just a little bit?
Yeah.
And you can't hit that shot with your hands. You can only hit that shot with your body.
Right. Same hands out, same motion.
So you got the path left, but you still had a divot and kind of that down attack. Go ahead and set up. I'll try and help you feel it. So that club head is going to stay kind of out here, right? And then you'll have to keep the grip moving to hit that lower fade, right? So
you try to hit it a little bit inside, on the inside part of the face?
Like the heel side?
Yeah.
No, just solid.
Because whenever I do that, I tend to, like, I'll set up a little closer to the hosel.
So
I know that sounds crazy, but
that does sound crazy. You have more guts than me. That was close. It didn't have the spin on it. It kind of rounded, but you knocked the hook out of it.
I will often in a tournament.
So this is going to sound funny.
Get a little bit in here, and
you need to hit up on it from the outside.
Up from the outside. Okay.
You know, you would think, oh, hit up on it. I'm going to get deep and hit up on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be draw spin. I need you to be coming from the outside, which is just going to be...
Well, down is up and up is down for golf, though, right? If I hit down on it, ball goes up. If I hit up on it, ball stays low.
I'm talking specifically about club head.
Okay.
I want the club head moving up.
Okay.
But from the outside to the left. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So the club head is like lower here and moving up and left.
Okay.
Because right now you are steep from the inside.
Okay.
Getting, you know, a lot of good contact, a little bit of distance control trouble, and then a little draw spin. There you go. That's a rehearsal. That's the first one you hit solidly without a divot. That was nice. I know you pushed it a little bit. The path needed to be a little more left, but I liked the interaction with the ground.
Oh.
Don't hit the camera.
I know.
So, this is not the shot you have to hit every time. Like, this is the shot I'm wanting you to practice because it's the opposite of what gets you in trouble.
Okay.
Right? Most of the time, you're going to be hitting a straight shot with a small divot from 40 yards. Yeah. You're going to hit a small divot, you know, pretty straight ball flight from 40 yards, which is halfway between your normal technique and what we're trying to do here. Needed the train-a-nate. You had so much freedom there, your hands were just feeling
running
wild.
The up part is what is different.
That's too much down. So, yeah, literally, it's like I definitely want the grip moving up. And right now your club head is just too much of like a V pattern from the ball. I mean, it's getting up off the ground quickly and then going down to the ball at a steep angle. I'm trying to widen the arc of your club head.
Okay.
You can do it by quieting hands. You can do it by having a different goal for the club head from a path perspective, because you're not going to be able to be wide from the outside, like hitting up on it and catching the ball solid, sliding on the turf with active hands. Right? Your contact will be no good. So that's why I'm saying up. It'll feel like the club head stays lower to the ground, right? Lower than your hands. And from here, if you threw the hands at it, you hit behind it. So what do? You rotate and have quiet hands, and then you get this really nice, consistent strike.
Okay.
Have you seen the guys do the chipping where they drag the club like this?
Yeah.
You can. I don't know if you could do it from 40 yards, but you could just like drag it, chip it like that. That's what it feels like to me. Like the club head is low to the ground for a long period of time. Like we don't want to bounce the airplane off the tarmac.
Right.
You know, you want to bring that thing in for a smooth landing. Now, when you get a bad lie, like when you have a lie that's sitting down, you probably have no problem with that, because your attack angle gets
It's steep.
gets compression in
I don't
that lie,
mind
no
being in
problem.
divots in the fairway.
But if you get a hanging lie, you get that summer lie in the rough that's not all the way down on the dirt, but it's not hanging up clean. It's in like a quarter bird's nest, and you probably hit the thing right off the top of the face, and it goes like half the yards you should.
How do you know? Like,
Or-
it's crazy. You know my shot.
It's just this is a shotgun pattern, man.
Yeah, it's still too much. It's gonna take a minute.
It's gonna take a minute. That's why I just say when you practice, it is so easy to think you're changing and not change a bit.
That changed the thing.
Right? So that's why we're going to use training aids. We're going to exaggerate. We're going to hit a shot that you can't hit without changing your technique, like meaningfully.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how you're going to improve.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I need it, because right now in my rounds, I find myself, like, even if I have an opportunity to get in this range, say on a par 5 and 2, I find myself laying back to that 90,
Sure.
95, 100
which is smart
to
course
play to my
management,
strength.
but you want to be able to use this yardage.
But I want to be able to use this yardage, and I feel like sometimes I'm just leaving strokes out there. Just, because my percentage should be higher or better from this distance.
I will say, even for pros, there's a range from like 50 yards to 70 yards, even maybe 75. It's just, I don't know if it's the equipment or what.
That's 66.
But
something.
in that range, like, your shots are going to be mostly like lower. It's hard to get the full amount of spin on it. Once you get inside of 40 yards, like, you can open up the face, you can get more height and spin on it. But I'm not saying that I lay up to 63 yards or 50 yards very often anyways. Usually I'm like, if I can push it inside of 30 or 40, I'm going to do it. And if not, I'm not going to hit a hybrid just to give myself a 60-yard shot. I'll go ahead and hit a 5-iron, leave myself 90 yards, which is very comfortable. You know that feeling.
Right.
And that's just good course management. But, hey, you might have par 4 where you get some wind helping. You can hit driver past the bunkers, and now you have 40 yards on a 360-yard par 4 that was downwind. You got some rollout. You want to be able to take advantage of it. You don't want to hit that drive and then make a
dumb bogey. I've played it or
I was going to say
right?
have 20 feet for birdie.
I know, but still, I mean, even 20 feet for birdie. But
yeah,
no, I mean the flip side of that, and that's, you keyed on it, and you've done this multiple times when we've met, is when I'm comfortable, I'm good. When I'm not, I'm like exponentially worse.
And that's where I would challenge your practice.
Yeah.
You know, like make sure your practice is getting you ready for what you're actually going to do. Change clubs, change shots, change targets, change yardages. My coach would always put my balls in, teach me to put my practice shots in 3-ball piles. So I'll pour out a bucket of balls and I'll put them in 3-ball groups. And every 3 golf balls, I either have to change shape or club.
Something.
Yeah, or even in those 3, do a 9, 10, 11, or an 8, 9, 10, right? And then
Okay.
change clubs. Because just because you warmed up with gap wedge doesn't mean you can't hit your gap wedge again later in the practice session.
Right.
Most of us will grab the sand wedge, hit 10 shots. Grab the 8-iron, hit 10 shots. You can go back to pitching wedge from your 8-iron. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
And hit 4 shots. And then go to your 7-iron or your 6-iron, hit 5 shots. Then go back to your 9-iron.
Yeah.
Like, from 6-iron, all of us are going to driver or a fairway wood, right?
Sure. Right.
But you can go up and down as you warm up, you know. Sand, 9, gap, 7, back to the 9, then the 5, you know. Yeah, absolutely. And you do them in 3-ball piles, and it's more like when you play.
That's really good. Do you ever, I mean, some of the better rounds I've had, I've got out on the range and tried to play the course.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
a great
I'll
thing
hit
to
a 3-wood and say, okay, that, you know, I pulled that a little left, I'm probably 120 out.
Uh-huh.
And I'll grab my gap wedge and hit that. And I'm like, okay, that, you know, that was probably pretty close. And then, you know, okay, driver, next hole.
Yep.
And I kind of burn through the front 9 before I tee off.
That's a great way to practice. A lot of times I'll do that on like a couple key shots that I know I'll need. I'm like, okay, the wind's out of the south. I'm gonna need a draw on the 7th hole or whatever.
Right.
So I'll hit that shot. And I'll say, you know, okay, this other par 3 is gonna be 175 into the wind. I'm gonna hit that little 6-iron. You know,
Right.
I'll pick a few like really key ones if I don't
Yeah.
have time to go through an 18-hole round like that. But that's a great way to practice.
How you doing on time?
I think we're at it.
Cool. All right. I like it. Thank you. It's
Enjoyed
so good to see you. Thanks for taking the time this morning. Hopefully I play well today.
Good work.
You ever played over at
Once, and it was a long time ago. The only thing I remember is
it's a short track.
my partner won us $180 in the last hole.
Oh, really?
Our opponent's blind hammered, par 5. I
Yeah.
hit it up there to a gimme for birdie, and he had about 15 feet for eagle. They accepted our hammer, and then he made it. we were down like $60
So
all day.
good.
Ended up over 100. So that's what I remember about cross
It's a tight course. I'd never played it before. Yesterday was my first day. And a lot of elevation change. It's pretty good. So, well, thank you again.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Let's get out soon. We need to do some commentary if you want on your round. I've almost got the back 9.
Oh yeah, cool. The back 9, was it all pars and eagle on the back?
Yeah, you had 8 consecutive pars and sprinkled in an eagle at the end just to
For the love of the
throw it
game.
on top. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that'll be good. Yeah, enjoy it. Good work.
Thank you.
Don't use that Benton Artie until you actually off to